Everything's on. Everything is on.
Okay. Let's get this party started.
Yes.
Big fat clap. Good job, JQ1. Oh, okay. Little sippy sip. Oh, yeah.
So, today we're talking about U-hauling.
Wait, we need to intro the episode.
Oh, fuck.
And the podcast and everything.
Sorry.
Jeez.
You're good at that stuff. Go for it, babe.
I don't know. Am I?
Yeah, you were.
Okay. Do you think the mic's close enough to my mouth?
I think so.
Okay. Just a little bit more ASMR for you guys. Okay, hello and welcome back to Where Do I Sit podcast. My name is Sasha. This is my beautiful wife that only I get to see, Alessia. Lucky me. And we are a married queer couple. We've been married and together for 10 beautiful years. And we are returning with a series of episodes that are going to blow your tits off.
Oh, yeah.
And we're very excited. We're very, very excited. And also, please like, subscribe, and follow us everywhere so that we can continue to blossom and grow and spread the word.
And spread the gay glitter.
That's correct. And today, well, now you can go ahead and say your bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so today we are talking about U-hauling. Sorry if this is a bit of a touchy subject, if we do not mean to offend anyone at all. It's just something that we find so odd that we'd like to discuss.
It is very odd.
And we just want to kind of open your minds about that, see where you sit, and share where we sit about this topic. For those of you who don't know what U-hauling is, it's basically... So, it's a stereotype term given to lesbians who basically things go really fast. They form a deep emotional connection quickly, early, and then they think that's a great idea to move in together really fast. And it's not, I think that it's not the best thing to do. And we're going to kind of unpack this together in a lighthearted way.
Always in a lighthearted way.
Yeah.
So if you're triggered, it's on you. JK, but not
you
really.
shouldn't be, because this is, we're just
this
having a good time.
This is so common. Like, it seems very much of a pattern within the women-loving women communities, but it's also just very common across the board. Like, straight couples and everything are guilty of it as well. It's just like, it seems very common in the queer communities. So that's why we're going to tackle it. But this really is all of our thoughts and feelings. They really apply to everybody. So
yes, exactly. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is that the reason why they use the term U-Haul is because when you move, you rent a U-Haul truck. Right. So just forgot to mention that part.
Right.
It's like the whole thing.
Interestingly, we didn't actually U-Haul, even though the beginning of our
it looked like it was gonna head that way, but it didn't.
Most definitely looked like it was heading there. So why don't we just talk a little bit about the timeline of our relationship and how we got to here.
People are shook when they hear how fucking slow we went.
Yeah.
They think it's so weird.
Yeah, so it started off with a very intense first initial 72 hours of us being together, because it was just, we were so enamored with each other, and just like the connection was so instantly strong, and it just kind of like, we were just so down for each other. Yeah. We were so fucking down for each other. Like, we really wanted to spend like every moment together.
You could see why it was almost heading towards...
It looked like it was going in that direction, but then we almost... Well, I would say we 180'd that train real quick.
In a good way.
In a very good way, yes. So it started off with, we were just like having lots and lots of sexy time together the first like 2-3 days.
That's right.
And then after that, you know, we decided to just and then just like kind of enjoy the moment, the journey together, and just take our time with it and have fun with it. And it turned into casually dating for a good like 2 months before we became official.
Yes.
Then it took another few months before we introduced family members. And then from that moment on, it became very interesting because we really fucking took our time after that. We spent 4 years together in a relationship before we decided to move in.
Yeah.
Wild, right? Just like wild. This is why sometimes when we talk to other gay women, and just like people in general,
they're so confused. They're like,
just
4 fucking years.
People in general, just like when they find out how long it took us before we moved in together, they're like, what? Why? They're like, why did it take so long? And we're just like, because it did. Like
we wanted to move in together, but we're just like, you know, playing it safe and taking our time.
The circumstances in our life at the time as well played a part in that. But I think in general, like we were just very... I think what's beautiful about the way that we did our thing is that we kind of naturally allowed it to progress, and neither one of us were like, okay, let's lock the fuck in, let's go, you know? Like we were just very much like enjoying each other's company and presence and just enjoying the journey together. We were having so much fun, like together apart. Like we're just...
1 million sleepovers.
Yeah, like it was just really fun. There was no like urge or need to like take that next step. Like it kind of just happened naturally.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about it for the longest time.
No.
Right? So it took 4 years until we finally made the move and blossomed and decided to move in together. And then it took 3 years. Yes, 3 years before we got engaged. And then it took another 2 years, 3-ish years before we finally tied the knot.
And now look at us. And now 10 years later.
10 years later, we're fucking here talking a whole lot of shit on a podcast.
Yeah.
And you're here listening to us. And just crazy. Life is just crazy like that. So anyways, all this to say, it is very unusual, I think, to take this long, even generally speaking.
I think it was really great because not seeing each other, like not moving in together right away or just kind of taking things slowly made us miss each other and made us want to spend like really quality time together when I had you, you know, when I had you in my presence. I was like sucking you up, you know, and sucking you down. And just like, you know, I missed you. And I feel like it's the recipe for a long-lasting relationship,
right?
Which eventually we will do an episode on that. But
Valentine's Day is coming up. Wink, wink.
Yeah. But so I think it was really great of us to do that, and that's where I sit on that. Is that just taking your time? Don't you all? It's too fast.
Yeah.
So there, we kind of like decided to talk about like why we think people U-Haul. What are some of the reasons why? What can be like some red flags about that?
Right.
And one that came up for me was I think that people have trouble just like, or a fear of being alone and don't like sitting with themselves. And
you're fidgeting with my finger.
It's distracting.
Go back to fidgeting with your ball.
They like some people, well, I used to even maybe be guilty of this, not being like avoiding my feelings or just kind of needing distractions or someone to distract me or, you know, kind of just not wanting to be alone or, you know,
with your thoughts.
Alone with your thoughts
Very
and your feelings.
Scary thoughts.
So I think that's probably the number one big one why people want to kind of move in quick, because they're just maybe bored or they don't want the fear of being alone.
Right.
That's a big one that I think.
Yeah. I sit in the exact same seat as you. I have maybe an even stronger like opinion of that. I don't know, maybe some people might feel it's controversial, but I really stand by that. I think that moving in with someone after like 2 weeks or even 2 months or even 6 months, to be honest,
that's too fast. Yeah,
you don't know them. You don't know them. You're making a huge decision, a huge, really important, potentially life-changing decision with a stranger. And I'm going to call it that because I really stand by that. You are committing to a stranger. You're deciding to share a space with a stranger, share your finances with a stranger, share your time with a complete stranger. Like, you don't know someone after 2 weeks, nor do you know someone after 6 months. Granted, I'm talking about people who like just met.
Yeah.
And then they're like so fucking pumped about each other and just so excited and just kind of acting impulsively based on those like new exciting feelings in the beginning.
I would be a little freaked out if someone wanted to move in really early, like anywhere between like a couple of weeks to before a year. Like, I feel like why do you want to move in so quickly? What is going on?
Right.
And there could be like so many different reasons for this. Like, maybe someone has huge debt, that you don't know about. Like let's say you're dating someone, they're like, oh yeah, I have a little debt, but like really it's like a lot of debt.
They're downplaying it.
And having you share rent with them would really help them, but they're not sharing that fact with you. Or maybe they've got like a shopping addiction or a gambling addiction or a drug addiction, and money is tight, so they think it just makes sense to share the bills with someone so that they'll have more money.
There's so many possibilities, and
you really don't know someone.
You really don't know someone after 2 weeks. Or I'm just saying 2 weeks because it seems like I just keep hearing people moving in together after 2 weeks.
That's really,
that's
ridiculous.
That's fucking wild, man. Like,
I mean, I haven't heard 2 weeks, but I've heard like 2 months or like 6 months.
2 weeks is very extreme, but I have heard it quite a few times lately. I don't know what's going on, but definitely 2 weeks, 2 months. Like, come on now, like chill, like you calm the fuck down. Jesus Christ, what is the rush, man? Because there is a rush, and
the rush is what sketches me out.
That's exactly it. And I just find that, look, like, if we're just speaking really honestly here, and we're being really rational about this, because this is after 2 weeks or 2 months of you just getting, like, you just met this person. After 2 weeks or 2 months or even 6 months, you decide, oh my god, they're it, like, let's move in. That kind of flags something to me, okay? And this is my personal opinion. I think that's a red flag, because think about it. Like, if you're someone that is very secure with yourself, you're secure with your own company, you enjoy your own company, you have no issues being by yourself, you understand that no company is better than miserable company, and you're just like, you're ambitious, you have your own goals and dreams, and you're going after them, and you're focused, and you're grounded, like, you'll never just like jump into and make such an impulsive decision. You're going to weigh every single decision. You're going to weigh the pros and the cons. You're going to take your time. You're going to understand that it takes a lot of time to get to know people.
And you value your time, your space, your energy, your cleanliness, your habits, your routine. Yeah. You value all of that. And it's a sacrifice bringing someone else in that could fuck it all up. So potentially. Yeah. So you really want to get to know the person really well and have this person complement your amazing life.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that you said that so beautifully, baby. Like, I feel like, damn, we're really in a flow together here. We're in a flow. I love you.
I love you.
I love you. You think we could reach each other? Oh, well, you made us read. Yeah. That
was hard.
I just wanted you to, like, lean over to check if we would read.
Almost, like, my legs were almost in the air.
Oh, okay. I love you.
I love you.
That's very nice. Very romantic gesture right there.
I got you.
What I was going to say is that, I was actually just going to add to what you just said, is basically, like, two people coming together, like, it's not it's meant to be a partnership, yes, but you're not meant to be filling someone's void or having someone fill your void. There's no empty space there. Like, you're supposed to be like a whole person by yourself, and then deciding to share your life or to have someone else that's also whole, a separate whole entity by themselves, come and complement your life. Right?
Yeah.
All is good?
All is good.
So a lot of the times people are like, oh, I want this person because
you complete me.
They complete me and they make me feel so whole and, like so
which is
happy.
Cute.
Which
it's cute.
I don't know if that's cute.
But what do they mean,
I don't know if that's really cute. It's not really that cute to me. Because it's like, well, you've got some shit to work on because you're not whole by yourself. Why are you not whole? And why are you deciding to then enter a relationship when someone else not whole? Because obviously if you're not whole, like when I'm saying whole, I'm talking about like you did the work on yourself. Like you are aware of your baggage, and you're working on it every day, as everyone should, because no one on this earth doesn't have baggage. We all have baggage, and we should all do our due diligence by working on ourselves every single day to improve ourselves, but not only to be a better person for ourselves, but to also be a better person for the people that we love and for the people around us, let alone another significant partner.
Yeah.
That should be everyone's duty and responsibility, is to constantly put in work on themselves. That should be a priority. But of course, that's not really the case. So when someone wants to move in with someone so darn quickly, like, I can't help but assume that there's something there. Like, there's some sort of baggage that you're not unpacking. There's some sort of a void that you're trying to fill. There's some sort of impulsive, and there's an impulsiveness to the decision that makes me feel like maybe you're lonely and you don't like being alone. Is it that when you're alone, you're trapped with your thoughts and you hate that? You don't you don't want to sit with your thoughts. You don't want to look at your own demons. So I don't know. Maybe I'm using some strong words here. I don't know if I'm going to be triggering people, maybe. But, my mere existence triggers people. So what the fuck? But in general, I just think that if you have the impulse to move in with someone so quickly that you just recently met, that should be a flag to you that something's up and that you should look inwards. Yeah. And that you should probably not do it. And also, I was just going to say, like, you were talking before about how you don't know the person.
Yeah.
But, like, let's take that one step further, right? So, like, you haven't yet experienced that person through holidays. Yeah. You haven't experienced what they're like around their family members, their loved ones. You don't know how they treat themselves, what is their health like? What is their lifestyle like? What is their habits, their spending habits? What is their relationship with money? Like, these are things, when you decide to move in with someone, you're making a long ass term decision here. Moving
you need to look out for these specific things. So there was something that we said the other day where it's like you need to get to know someone through the seasons.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different holidays. There's, maybe someone in their family could pass away. You see how they handle things like big emotional impacts, You
have to see them go
see them
through
maybe change jobs, like get fired or something, like big life events.
Like, do they let it out on you? When life hits them in the dick, do they turn to you and just unload on you? You don't know that. How are they when you get into an argument? It takes time to get to the argument phase, because in the beginning, all is beautiful, all is well, until an argument hits, and then you're like, ooh, okay, I just saw some colors there I didn't quite like.
Right.
Well, you need to know, like, go through a couple of arguments and see how they communicate. How they handle conflict. Do they avoid and run the other direction when you're butting heads, or do they like open up and have an honest conversation with you? How do they handle conflict with people in general? How do they treat strangers? How do they treat their family members? There's so many things about a person. There's so many layers to a person that takes so much time to experience and to get to know. And for those things to even come out in the first place, there is no fucking way that within 2 months you can see all of these things.
Yeah, you're balls deep in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. And you should never be making decisions in that
Never,
phase,
yeah.
especially long-term decisions in that phase, because a lot of the times we trick ourselves into thinking that like, oh, all is well. So like moving in together is only going to enhance that. I got news for you. The honeymoon phase is over when you move in with someone.
It rushes it. It definitely rushes it hardcore, and it kind of stalls you getting to know the person properly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And connecting emotionally in the right way. So you're like rushing the honeymoon phase and not like it's kind of blinding you from getting to know them properly, I think.
Yeah. And it's also stalling the natural progression of the relationship, whereas a relationship should just evolve naturally, gradually, progressively. At least in an ideal world, it should. And the emotional connection should deepen naturally as well. And it takes time to get to know people. You have to take your time to protect yourself, to protect your sanity, your peace, your bank account.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's just so much to it. I think that people should enjoy the natural progression of the relationship and get to know themselves on a deeper level first. Maybe like you mentioned at one point when we were discussing this, like you said something so nice, which I loved, and it made perfect sense. You can even like test run the...
Oh, yeah, I recommend that. Like, you know how... like
Dr. Alessia recommends that.
According to my calculations, I think it's great to travel together.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great test, but it's also like, you know, when you travel, you're so happy. You're not working, you know, you're in a great mood. So it's like, it's fun. It's exciting. You dress cute because you're, you know, well, I dress cute on vacation.
Well, you do, but I was just going to say that travel also brings out a lot of stress in some people.
I'm a stressful traveler.
You are a stressful traveler. And ironically, I am so fucking chill.
That's because you take like an edible right before we leave.
No, that's not true. Not every time. But no, like, no. What I'm saying is like, yes, you're absolutely right. But also the opposite can also happen. Whereas I think it's good to travel with someone because the stress of traveling will bring out a different side to the person for sure.
Yes.
You get to see what they're like in a different time zone, you know, like
how they adjust with time zone changes.
How they adjust with new weather. How do they adjust with like a week's worth of unlimited alcohol? Like, do they go crazy? Do they go to bed early? Are they all about activities? Are they more chill? Because like, you know,
are you compatible, basically?
Are you compatible with traveling together? And are you, you know, can you share, you're going to be able to share a space for a while there, assuming you're going to a hotel, whatever, you're going to like, you know, stay together. So that kind of gives you a little hint here and there with like how they do things, you know, when they're in an unfamiliar environment and an unfamiliar space. I think it's a great test.
It is. And then to add to that, another test is to actually purpose stay over at each other's places. You're like each other's like one time at their place, one time at your place for longer periods of time,
right?
To get to do a little test run and see how it goes living together. Like
not after 2 weeks though.
Not after 2 weeks.
And not
though.
after 2 months either.
But you get to kind of do the little test moving in together and see if you're compatible and how that goes. So
that's a really good idea, baby.
Yeah. So I think people should do that. But I also recommend having a backup plan if shit goes south. Because imagine you fucking upright like your life, like everything, you got rid of your lease, your apartment, you know, everything is done and you're at this person's place and then you fucking break up. Like what if you break up? Like what is your backup plan? Do you have money put aside for, you know, a deposit on a new place and, you know, moving, getting that U-Haul truck again to move your shit out, all this stuff. So you need to have a backup plan, or like, all right, can you stay at your parents for a bit or a friend's place? Like you got to figure shit out like this.
I've also heard, remember when we were talking to our friend there and they told us that some people like break up right before the holidays so they can get out of like buying each other gifts.
This is a thing, yeah.
And then like get back together right after.
Yeah, people will purposely break up with their partner before the holidays so that they don't have to spend money on them.
Some people.
Some, obviously not. Yes. No, this is rare.
No, because when we say like
Valentine's
people,
Day,
it's kind of like generalizing. So it's a thing now that we keep hearing about, that people will fucking break up with their partner before the holidays so they can avoid spending on them. Like, that's just
and then get back together after.
So imagine, like,
watch out for that.
No, but like, imagine you moved in with someone like that, like
what? Yeah, I would not. That's something you should see before moving in with them.
Yeah, but after 2 months, you're not gonna fucking see it.
No,
you know what I mean. For you to do that to someone, you are inherently.
You good there, babe?
A piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so that's like in there, and you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it unless you go through holidays with that person, right? So it's just like an example of like how you don't fucking know people up until like a year. You haven't seen their true colors yet. They haven't lived enough life in front of you for you to be able to see them, like you said, in all their seasons and all kinds of different life, through all kinds of different life events and stuff like that. Like, it's just impossible.
Yeah,
it really is impossible. And plus, people put on their best self in the beginning. It's just human nature. You put on your best self and you hide all the shit, you know, you like suppress it, and you know, you just hope that it never comes out, but it will eventually.
Yep.
100%.
How long do you think people should wait before moving in together? Like, is there a timeline that you think is good?
Well, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I think my answers are going to be very, I don't know. I think people might think I'm extreme.
10 years.
Never.
Tell me.
Okay. Well, I think they maybe have an idea based on like the way we did things, but okay, so are we going through like the different stages here?
No, well, sure. Like, let's say moving in, engaged.
Come closer to your mic.
So the first milestone would be move in together, and then the second one I want to know is like, let's say engaged, like just for fun. That one too. What do you think? How long should people wait, or try to wait?
Okay, before you move in with someone, I would say like seriously date them for at least 2 years, because I just feel like you give life enough time to happen before you commit to sharing your space and everything with that person. Really, I just think it's such a huge decision. I don't think people realize how much of a big decision that is, and how much weight it holds. So it just boggles, like, I don't know, I think people are so blinded by like the excitement and the novelty of the relationship. What about you? Or do you want me to say all the stages?
I'd say for moving in, I would say 2 years.
Okay.
And I would say you should rent and not buy a property with someone, like obviously 1,000%.
100%.
I think you should wait a long time before buying a property with another person, because it is such a bitch to like split that shit up later, and so complicated.
Right, yeah.
Same thing with like getting married. Like, divorce is a bitch.
From what
we've heard, yeah.
And seen.
So, you know, like these huge things, like you should wait a while. Like, people get engaged after 2 years. I think that's too fast. I think people should wait like 5 years before getting engaged.
Yeah, before deciding that you want to spend the rest of your motherfucking life with this person. Like, do people realize like the weight of that decision? You think you know someone's ins and outs after 2 years to then decide I'm going to spend the rest of my motherfucking goddamn life with you?
Yeah.
Like, it's not enough. I'm sorry, but it's not enough. Okay, that's my personal opinion, and yours as well. But I mean, just my opinion.
These are just our opinions. We're not pooping on anyone who has
Absolutely
done anything differently, because there are some amazing stories out there.
Yeah.
People, you, Holly, and I'm sure I haven't heard one, but I'm still being together 25 years later or something.
It could happen.
Sure, of course.
It could happen for sure.
But I
and
have every I know a lot of lesbian women who've you've hauled and it has not worked out. And I've seen it crash and burn. So, like, from what I've witnessed, I just don't recommend it. And that's where I sit on that.
Yeah, and also I do want to re-emphasize that there's a big difference between just meeting that person and then deciding to get married to them 2 years later, as opposed to knowing this person for years or being friends with them first or knowing them since high school or since elementary school. Like, you've known this person for a very long time. There's a huge difference there. So let's not forget.
Yes.
Because that amount of time of getting to know someone definitely should be taken into the equation. So if you've known someone your whole life and then you fell in love,
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful, and that's perfectly appropriate, But if you're just literally just meeting a person and then 2 years from the day that you met them decide to spend the rest of your life with them, I personally think that's a little bit fast and it's risky.
Yo, there was a friend of mine that was telling me about like some documentary of like abusive men that like sorry to dampen this, but I'll just nutshell it like super fast, that like they have a timeline that they follow with each woman that works, and they like follow this timeline to the T because they know women expect these things. Women expect you to give them a key to your place, to ask you to move in with them, to propose, to do these things. And they like it when you're on time and when you're early. Like, they crave these things in life because of society's pressures and whatever. Everyone like wants you to get engaged and have a baby, so like they trap women. And there was this whole, I don't remember the name of it, but anyways, I want to watch it. They told me about it and it sounded like fucked up.
So what do they do after they like, so they
they'll become abusive emotionally and physically.
Oh,
and so
they
just
advantage.
kind of present you the perfect life and trap you in, and then kind of you finally, it's like too late. You're stuck in it, and you finally realize you've been abused for like 10 years by this person.
Yeah.
And you just kind of, you rushed into it. You don't know them.
Or you didn't rush into it.
You didn't get to know them properly, and this is what happens. I don't know.
I totally, that's, I think that's relevant to mention that you have to protect yourself. And it's not just men who are abusive.
Yeah.
There's women out there who are very manipulative as well, and you just got to protect yourself, man. You got to protect yourself, and it takes time to get to know someone's true nature. Mm-hmm. So protect yourself, put yourself first, use your brain, not your heart or your dick.
Yeah, and usually they don't like it when you're not an easy target, and they'll move on to an easier target.
Yeah.
So if you're a strong, awesome person who is not going to just settle for the first thing that comes or something, quickly because you're lonely, if you're a strong person who is like loves their life, you are going to wait and make sure that there's someone equally as awesome as you to complement your life, because you're not going to settle for something that like, you value your life so much, you're not just going to settle for anything.
Yeah, for the first thing you get that gets, that comes your way.
Yeah.
For sure. And I really encourage, because we get these messages all the time from people telling us like, I can't wait, I've been lonely. Your videos make me feel so lonely, and they make me realize how single I am, and it makes me sad as much as I'm like really happy for you too. Like, it makes me sad, and it makes me feel really lonely, and like, tell me how to find someone like a relationship like yours and this and that. But I do really, really, I'm honestly speaking from the heart right now. Like, if you are not comfortable with your own company, if you are having a very hard time being single, if the thought of being single scares you, if you want to get out of this single life as fast as possible, like,
look into why.
You have to look inward, man, because that's telling that there's some serious work that needs to be done by yourself. You should be happy in your own company. You should feel strong and confident and secure and love your own company. You should love your own company. You should you know, whenever like a dark thought comes up, like you should have the motivation and the self-love to look into it further and to try and understand yourself better, you know, because without understanding yourself, you're never going to be able to uphold a nice, solid, strong foundation in a relationship. Like, it's just not possible. You have to understand yourself, you know? And if you don't understand yourself, no one else is going to understand you, especially the person that you decide to commit to like that. So you really have to do the work on yourself, man. Like, if being single and alone really bothers you and makes you sad and makes you feel really insecure and fearful, like that just means that work needs to be done. That's really what it means. And the solution to that is not jumping into a fucking U-Haul truck and driving this, moving your whole entire life and things and possessions into some person's house that you just met 6 months ago. Like, that's not the fucking solution. I promise you that you're just suppressing your problems deeper and deeper and deeper, and they will motherfucking come back up and bite you in the ass. I promise you that. There is no way out of this.
Damn.
What? It's true.
It is true.
I mean every fucking word.
Yeah.
So anyways. So our beautiful assistant bestie is on holiday break right now. So she told me what the game is. Did she tell you what the game is?
Well, I think I figured it out from your IG stories.
Okay. Well, here, you unpack. You go ahead. Yeah, so we're at the like little end part of our episode now where we're just gonna like, so we asked people to tell us if they've ever U-Hauled before, no judgment, and to tell us how it went, just to share their little U-Haul stories. Was it a fail? Was it a success? Did it work out? Did it crash and burn? We want to know. So
let's find out.
All right. So, I don't know if I'd say it's U-Hauling, but one day I went to my girlfriend's house and just never left. Okay.
What?
We're going to need a little bit more information here because, like, one day you went to your girlfriend's house and never... How long?
I mean, that's what moving in together is. Yeah. But, like, yeah, how long ago?
Like, we need to know the timeline before.
Yeah.
Because now you're just leaving us hanging, girl, and then we need to know more. But, wow, interesting way of moving in. Cool.
Okay.
So, I did it 8 years ago. We stayed together 6 years, and now we are separated, but friends. #lesbians. Very much agree with the hashtag, that's for sure.
Okay. So that lasted quite a long time.
Okay. I mean...
Nice.
So, we moved in together on the day of lockdown after dating for a month. It was pretty good. Are you still together?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. She's using it. She's
using it past tense.
And then also it's missing. So we moved in together on the day of lockdown after dating for a month.
That's U-Hauling.
That's definitely. You definitely
right
qualify as a U-Hauler.
You U-Hauled.
You definitely U-Hauled.
And you are not together anymore.
No, but I mean, it's saying it was pretty good. But I want to know.
That means they're not together anymore.
Okay, let us know.
Let us know.
Okay, cool. Anyways, it sounds like if they're not together anymore, it ended in a healthy manner, since she's speaking highly of it.
There you go.
So hopefully that is the case.
Yeah.
Cool. So then we have after our first date, which lasted 2 days. Hey, that's like us.
Yeah.
We spent every second together. And then I moved in with her within 2 weeks. Then about a month later, COVID hit. We lasted 2 years.
That's U-Haul.
That's U-Haul AF.
That is the definition of U-Haul.
Wow.
So it lasted 2 years.
Sorry, it didn't last. Okay, so another one here we have. I U-Hauled with my ex-wife. We were dating about 2 weeks before she moved in.
Another 2 weeks?
No, hold on. Yeah. We were friends since elementary school.
Okay.
She was my first everything. First serious relationship. First woman I had sex with. I was head over heels, not really thinking, looking at the big picture and thinking we knew it all. We got married in our 20s and then 11 years later got divorced.
Aw. That's cute. It kind of sounds like it's really cute, and then they just grew apart, and
I mean, we don't know what happened, but I don't know if I would I don't know if you qualify as a U-hauler there.
Because you knew each other since elementary school.
Yeah, like I wouldn't classify that as U-hauling. Would you?
I don't think so.
Wait, let me read that one more time. I U-hauled my ex-wife. We were dating for about 2 weeks before she moved in. We were friends since... Well, you're kind of a U-hauler.
Yeah.
You're like a semi-U-hauler there.
Yeah.
You were friends, and then dating, then bam, move in 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a U-haul situation.
Sure.
But it's not as bad of a U-haul situation as someone that you just met 2 weeks ago. That would have been
a stranger.
Like, okay, you're asking for a disaster there. You know? So
yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And I want to, like, you know, just reassure you guys that, like, we're not here to, like, judge you or anything like that. We're just here to try and, like,
help you not make a mistake in the future.
Just help you not be impulsive, or maybe think twice before making a decision like that in the future.
Yeah.
You know, you can save many, many years
and you haul
of
trucks,
heartbreak,
gas,
and you haul money and gas and space and energy. And, you know, I really want people to do the right thing for themselves and the wise thing for themselves.
You will decrease your carbon footprint by not U-hauling.
Okay, babe. Okay. Should I go for one last one? Hold on. Please hold. Okay. Failed. I was still in the closet and ex claimed mom threw her out.
I don't get it.
Hold on. I'm not done yet. I'm just trying to read through my mask, and it's like a two-parter situation. Okay, so I was still in the closet and ex claimed her mom threw her out. Moved my friend in with me and my parents, and ended great living with a narcissist.
Oh.
So she got tricked.
Wow. That sucks. Oh, sorry.
Well, she was also the person that it happened to was also still in the closet. And ex claimed mom threw her out. So her ex claimed that her mom threw her out.
So lied.
So basically, it sounds like there was a lie there.
To get her to let her move in with her. And then turns out she was a narcissist.
Oh, and then she's saying moved my friend in with me and my parents. Oh, she moved her in with her and her parents. Damn. Because the girl was, like, still in the closet.
Okay.
And then her ex claimed that she got kicked out. So she took her in with her still in the closet living with her parents.
Oh, wow.
And then she said it fucking failed and crashed and burned. Damn. And realized that the person was a narcissist. So I'm very sorry to hear that. I really am. That really sucks. Of course, being in the closet and stuff beforehand really doesn't help the situation as well. Yeah. Really sorry that happened to you. Yeah. But I guess you live and you learn, right?
Yep.
Okay, so last one. Yes, both left straight relationships for each other and moved her from Iowa to Austin. And it's been a year. Okay. It's been a year.
It's been a year.
Still new.
Still going on.
Yep. It looks like they're still together, and it's been a year.
Okay.
So, wishing you the best.
Yep.
No, I'm just
the best. No, seriously.
No. We really are wishing you the best. I hope this works out, honestly.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've said it. We know there's most definitely success stories of things like that working out.
But we haven't received any DMs of them yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically this is one, but although I wouldn't classify that as a success, 1 year is still a baby relationship. So yeah. So that's what we got for you today.
On U-hauling. That's where we sit.
Hopefully you still love us and you understand where we're coming from. And
yeah, we're not trying to bust anyone's balls or poop on anyone's relationships.
Yeah, no.
This is just us sharing our thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and
telling you where we sit on the topic.
Yeah.
Hopefully these words of wisdom will help you if you are in the situation, or maybe hopefully prevent you from being in a negative situation because of it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening and still being here if you still are. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. And follow us on our socials too, because we always tell people what's going on. Obviously, all these answers and stories are because people are responding to our content on our socials. This is how we communicate with our fans and engage with our fans.
And so you can participate in the podcast this way too.
And if you have ideas or suggestions of like topics or episodes you want us to cover, like that would be the place, honestly. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, like comment, let us know how you feel. We love reading the comments, and it just helps us know where we're at and helps us know if we're in the right direction, if we're entertaining you enough, if we're doing well or not. So just let us know. Let us in. And we love you guys. And that's it.
Yep. Love you guys.